What's up, man? We have a 2012, I believe, Hyundai Accent. Customer complains that the vehicle is feeling like it's stuck in a gear. So let's see exactly what we could pick up, right? They also mentioned that from time to time they feel like the power steering is like getting hard on them. So ask, what can be the cause of that, right? Normally, spoiler alert. Normally it's be the ECU, but definitely gotta do my checks before I make the call, right? This tends to happen a lot on these vehicles. As it gets older, the ECU tend to start to glitch or whatever it is internally. You see I'm in park. It's telling me that I'm in park, right? So let's step on the, let's go into reverse. It's telling me that I'm in reverse. Telling me I'm in, so right now I'm in first, right? I'm in drive. So let's go. It's starting to rain, so let's wind this glass up. Alright, I'm in reverse, so I'm coming out let's step out of here. It's now like going to pour. So I'm in drive right now. Let's record this while I'm driving, right? I definitely can watch and drive at the same time. So I'm in drive right now. I'm in first gear still. I'm seeing I'm getting 940 milliamps coming off this that solenoid. So it's definitely shifting, but as I said, sometimes it feels like it's putting a seatbelt. So it feels like it's shifting its gears like it's supposed to. So is it like as I said, a short, right, internally on the valve body of the transmission, or is it on the ECU? It caused the gear to like slam in, right? I'm not getting that at the moment. But the customer did say that, she had to take her time while she was driving, and that was, the fear that it was a transmission. So it definitely feel like it's something electrical. As I said, man, I'm driving. Let's see where I'm at right now. I'm in second, I'm in third. So it's switching. But it definitely it doesn't feel like it's glitching. So I'm gonna drive until I feel it start to act up again, and then I'll pick the camera up and start recording. Alright, so what we got here is a manual where we just gonna do our checks. Right, so on basically temperature, fluid, I think I'm saying it correct. Transmission fluid temperature. I'm gonna check for my resistance. Right, I want to be within specs here. I'm going to use my thermal camera and see exactly what I'm getting. I'm hooked on to pin 5 and 6 here, right? I'm at, let's say, 1.5 kilo ohms, right? So I believe if I'm at 1.5 kilo ohms, temperature will be lower than 80. So I'm supposed to be like around 70 degrees or something like that. So I'm going to double check that with the thermal camera. Matter of fact, let me get the camera out and I will show you exactly, what the temperature is. Alright, so right now I'm reading like 74 degrees. I'm seeing if I get it closer, kind of have a glare. I'm at 74 degrees. Alright, so we're gonna refer back to the manual to see what 74 degrees represent, right? So I'm supposed to be like between 1.98 and 108, and as you can see, I'm at 1.57. 2 kilo ohms, right? So basically tell me that I'm in spec. Also, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to check this solenoid, right, which is the VFS, the variable force solenoid. I'm going to go on to pin 10 and pin 9. I'm expecting to be within this range, right? All right, so I hooked on to pin number 9 and number 10. As I said, man, supposed to be between 2 2.5 to 4.5. At 5, basically 5 ohms, right? 5.2 ohms, which is out of range. But what does that say? Does that tell me that the solenoid is bad? The temperature is right now, is the casing is hot because this car was being driven. So I'm thinking, let's see, it's still at, let's say 74, what's that, 75 degrees. So I'm thinking all I'm all the range. Let's verify if the other solenoid is saying, you know, the same thing, or if it's in range, and that would kind of let me know if the solenoid has the issue, right, or if the ECM have the issue. Right, so I'm at solenoid A. I'm on pin terminal 7 and 3, and I'm getting 4.6 ohms, right? And I'm just barely over the range a little bit, not as much as the variable 4 solenoid, but I would say I'm going to do a next check. I'm going to go off of pin 7, number 1. I want to check each one of them and see if they within range, and if they are in range, cool. If not, then I may have to definitely go after a solenoid. But as I said, I don't want to blame the ECU, but I tend to have issues with this ECU a lot, so I'm just going off of pin 1. Kind of dark to get here. This is pin 1. I'm at 4.9 ohms, and I'm just a tad over the range of 2.5 to 4.5, which is solenoid B. Let's go on solenoid C. Now, as everybody know, I don't really focus on resistance checks sometimes, but they do tend to help you narrow down a little bit. So I'm at 4.65, and I'm still a little bit out of range. So I'm going to go to D now, which is 7 and 8. Matter of fact, before I go to 7 and 8, let's go to 4. So number 4. Number 4, I'm at 4.8. A little bit out of range, but nothing to talk about. And we're going to go into pins 8. So we go into pin 8, I'm getting 4.6. As I said, I was going to check this when the vehicle was cool, but I was taking the vehicle for a test run, so that's why, you know, temperature increase, resistance also will be affected. So as I'm at 4.5 and I'm at 4.5, so probably this is the only one that's within range, and this top one was on the range at 5 ohms. So is it open coil? Not sure, right? But this code also, right, that I'm getting is the P0748, right, which is a VF, right, variable, like this, variable force solenoid. That's also telling me that I have a circuit open or short to ground, right? So I'm going to go after the ECU next, before I go after the transmission. Right, so let's put this vehicle back together. I'm going to inform the garage that I'm going to take off the ECU and take it, do some checks on the ECU and see if ECU has fault. But right now it looks like everything is coming from the ECU, right? Probably an open circuit. I'm not sure if it's an open circuit in the ECU or if it's an open circuit in the transmission. So I got the scan tool hooked up. All right, so let's scan this vehicle and see what exactly happens and what we get, right? So let's go into diagnose. Let me get you to focus. Right, so now it's just running through all the modules. This vehicle has what, 149 kilometers on it. So this is when the we start to see all these faults coming up, man. So we got a fault in the transaxle. Let's see what it is. It's a P0748, which is the VFS solenoid, right? Let's come out of there. Is it any way? Do it have like, let's see if it has any freeze frame or anything like that. No, it doesn't have. It says history, so it's passed. The check engine light was not on. It just felt like the vehicle was stuck in third gear. So we're gonna start right up. Matter of fact, let's check the data stream. Alright, let's see. My gear ratio is at 0. I'm in park. Right. I do have a fault So it tells me I have a fault. And what I'm looking for is this one right here, which is my pressure control solenoid valve. So I'm looking for some current here, and right now I'm seeing 0. So I'm gonna go after this ECU. Right, I'm gonna go after this ECU and take it from there. Most likely I'm gonna probably a capacitor or something like that, probably leaked on the board or something like that. I mean, it's known for happening on these ECU after a while, right? So if it is, I'm gonna make a decision if I'm gonna try to repair the ECU or if I'm gonna get it replaced, put a new one in. It depends on the customer pockets and actually depend on what problem am I having when I put it back on. Right, other than that, the car drives, right? You got no check light on, but it is stuck into a gear. As you see right here, it's stuck into a gear. So if I step on the X and I put it in drive, you see that it tells me I'm currently in third gear, and my next position is third. And basically I'm supposed to see like the first gear, and then eventually, remember it's automatic, so it's supposed to go through the gears, but he starts in third. Alright, so this ECU sits behind this battery. In order to get access to it, you gotta remove the battery to get the ECU out, right? Next, as I said, you just disconnect the harness, right? One is for transmission and one is for the engine control, right? Side of the ECU, right? I'm gonna go after this first because, right, most of the time it is the ECU. I don't like to blame the ECU, but I'm gonna do the easiest thing first instead of going after the solenoids, right? I already did my resistance test on the transmission itself and everything was within specs, right? But as I said, man, I'm gonna go after the controls of the solenoids and take it from there, because if this is not doing its job, then the transmission definitely not gonna do his, right? And once all is well here, right, then we put this back up and make sure everything is good with the codes and take it for a spin and see if it helps, right? But so far, as I said, most of the time I have issues with these Hyundai or Kia or something like that. Is 97% is this ECU. I'm not sure why it fails after a while. It all fails after a while. I mean, there's no if, no buts, right? So as I said, I'm gonna just open this up and see what's inside. You see some dark spots. Let's see if I can get you to focus. Some dark spots around here. Most likely the capacitor is leaking on the other side and leaking on this board. So that could cause the open and the short in the system, so in the circuit. So we see if we could take apart this and see what it does. Alright, so we got the box open up, right? This is the same box that came out from the Hyundai Accent. Here, so what was happening was these caps was leaking right onto the board, right? And it tends to leak real bad, like I showed you on the last picture, right? Where it damaged the board and also the components that's on the board, right? So I'm just gonna give you a brief rundown of what I believe happened or happens on these boards, right? That triggered that P0748 where you stuck in third gear, right? So this is the processor right here, right? Can't see the number offhand, but this is the processor right here, and this processor sends information to this IC, right? So there's a power IC that basically takes that information. Let's think about him like the master. He takes that information, right, and he sends it to these he sent it all across here to these shift solenoid. So think about these as the slave, right? So we got solenoid A, B, C, D, E, F right here, right, on different legs of these pins. And they get the command, as I said, from the power IC, which is this one, right? When they send the information from here, right, what happens now, it goes through like some MOSFETs and things like that, right? As I said, I'm not too sure. Not that I'm not too sure, I'm just trying to learn this also, so bear with me, right? They send the information to some MOSFETs, right, which will also get a 12 volt reference feedback from this IC right here, right? This IC here is the 30639, right? This tends to send a 12 volt ref out to tap into the feedback that comes back into this
power IC, right? So once this power IC gets this information like the engine RPM, the ABS, the transmission speed, and so on, right, and able to send information to these slaves or these shift solenoids, right, where it from, let's say these ICs here, it sends information from here to the solenoids to shift the transmission and locks it up and all that good stuff, right? So what I'm gonna do is put this back on. Yes, it goes through some pins. Let me see what I'm missing right here. So these little pins right here behind, right, up in, I believe the solenoid change the gears on pin A, which is like 31, 16, 1. D is, let's say solenoid D is 46, 47, E is 46, and F is 32. So like I said, it gets a feedback and it sends it back to the power IC through the MOSFET, which is basically a switch, right, in this case. And what that happens, like, they keep talking to each other, and when they see that they're not getting the voltage like he's supposed to via the resistance, right, he basically shuts off that leg of the, you know, power going to that and basically stuck in third, you dig? So with that now, I'm still learning, as I said, getting better at understanding this thing, but it's really interesting. So I was getting a pressure control solenoid valve, VFD, which is the force solenoid, right? I wasn't getting no current, 0 milliamps on that leg, right? Where I'm supposed to be getting anything between 0.9 900 milliamps to 0.8, all the way down to, let's say, 0.4 when I'm in reverse. So that tells me that I wasn't, when I'm seeing on the scan tool, I was getting no current going to that solenoid. I did all my checks for my, you know, through my resistance, and everything was in specs. I mean, I did it when it was hot, but still, I was still within range. So I'm gonna put this up. We're gonna double check our solenoid, right? Make sure that we getting current going to that solenoid while I idling, right? And it's, you know, when I'm changing gears, I'm supposed to see the same thing. I believe the only time I'm supposed to see a change is if it's in reverse, right? Which is, as I said, these solenoid, these controllers, the solenoids up here, right? So once good there, right, I'll test run this vehicle for a little longer and I will just give it to the customer, right? But as I said, what we was able to do this time, right, what we didn't catch was this one here. Let me see what it is. Where is you at? Right, this IC right here, 30333, right? As I said, kind of hard to get the zoom. Right, this power IC, he's in charge of supplying current to that same solenoid, and he wasn't booting up on the test bench at all. So we replaced this also, and as I said, I'm going to try it on the vehicle and see if it works, right? But you know, you got to load the system in order to see it works. Sometimes it works on the test bench, and when you come on the vehicle, you know, it doesn't work. But I'm hoping for the best, man. So as I said, let me just put this back up. I'm not going to assemble it all the way, because if it's not working, I'm just going to just buy a ECU and call it a wrap, man, because I'm really tired of fixing this, right? But I believe that it should work this time, right? Because I have a better understanding on what exactly I'm supposed to get and what the unit is doing, man. All right, so we gotta put the battery back in, right? I got the ECU plug back in. I'm just going to rest it on top of here. It's not going to get damaged, not going to touch anything to ground off. So with that done, I'm going to just run through the gears, start this vehicle up, and monitor the current going to that solenoid. And once all is well, I'm going to put the bracket back on. Alright, so I got the scan tool hooked up, right? I'm going to clear the codes. But first, I'm going to see, matter of fact, I'm going to clear the codes. Alright, so let's... We're not even going to go through all that. We're just going to go straight to the TCM, because that's where the fault lies, right? It was getting a P0748, right? I'm going to go read. Right, so I was getting this code, right? It says present, right? Let's clear this code. So we're going to go into the shift solenoid from A to B and the VFS, right? We're going to pull up the to see where we at. Also, what current gear we in, the RPM. Right now it's telling me I'm in park. I'm actually getting current to it. The check light is off. Wait a minute, man. Let's see what's good. Wait a minute. So right now I'm in park and neutral. Right? You see I'm in park. Let's take this bag off. My idle is at like 1,000. I'm not sure why the idle is so high, but I will figure that out. Right now I'm getting current going to this solenoid. Before I was getting 0 milliamps, which is real good. The shift solenoid is on. I'm getting like 0 on B. What is this? B. I gotta get A. Or A is on and B is at 0. C is at 100%. D is 100%. I'm in park, right? So right now I'm seeing my RPM dropping off. So that means it's coming down. I'm just gonna let it take its time to calibrate itself. I'm not gonna rush it. Check light is off. And I'm getting current going to the solenoid. Before I was getting flat line 0, right? And when I'm going reverse, I'm supposed to get anything from like 50 milliamps to 40 to 50 milliamps. And when I go into drive and stuff like that, you're supposed to come back up to like, let's say 700-800, anything than 0. I'm supposed to get. It's supposed to like stay high. So if I'm getting that, I believe this is a fix, but I'm not gonna, rush it. I'm just gonna let it take its time and do what it's supposed to do. Let the idle drop and settle up, and that's it. Right, so no check light on. Matter of fact, let's record this. So we're gonna record this so I don't have to keep looking at the screen. We're gonna go into, matter of fact, what position am I in? Let's pick, don't have to look at gear ratio and stuff like that. I'm looking at my next gear position, output speed sensor, and I'm gonna go, oh man, why my next gear is 3rd. Right now my current gear is 3rd. I'm park and neutral. Before it was starting in park. Right? So let's go in reverse. If I'm going in reverse, I'm seeing my current gear is in reverse. My milliamps dropped off on my pressure control valve solenoid. It dropped to like what? 240. Which isn't bad. Right now my shift solenoid is still on. I'm in reverse. Let's go to neutral. I'm going down to 40, which I'm supposed to be, and I went back up to 990. All right, that's good. Sorry, but the light is really dark. It's getting dark here, so I'm trying to do this real quick. Let's go to the drive. So it's like every time I switch my gear, you see the current is dropping on the pressure solenoid, and then it comes back up to 975, right, which is less than an amp, which is excellent, right? You want to see like anything from no more than 1.5, right? You don't want to see nothing more than 1.5, right? I'm seeing 970. I'm going back to, right now I'm in drive. I'm going back to neutral. Right, so when I switch the gear, it shifts to 40 and then it goes up to 990. So when I'm in drive, it's at the lowest, which is a 940, 970, which I'm going to reverse. You see it. So every time I shift gear, you see it drop off and then it comes right back up. Right, I'm in reverse right now. It's telling me I'm in reverse. Go to park. So every time I shift the gear, you see that current is dropping. So I really hope this works, man. I'm getting tired of changing parts on this board, man. I see why people just purchase, fresh boards and ECUs, and let's call that a wrap.
But right, it's shifting. I'm seeing my current moving. Right, before I wasn't seeing that. I was seeing flat line. I'm seeing one. This is second. It's showing second on the scan tool. I've come across. I'm in gear 1. I'm in neutral. I'm in reverse. I'm in park. Basically, what I was getting was a open circuit or a short to ground on that IC that was causing the fault and not allowing current to go to the false solenoid, right? So right now I'm getting, the current that is needed to activate that solenoid. So think about that is like that's the main solenoid, right? Where and the others are just for like shifting gears, but that's the main solenoid. So I'm watching the current that's going to it, and I think I got it, man. Right, so don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. Sorry about all that beeping. Hold on, man, let me take this off. Yeah, so don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. This was a good one. I learned something. I hope you did. Right, so don't forget to hit that comment down in the box what I could have done differently, but I made sure I did all my checks, but this was a good one, man. I really started to enjoy this ECU repairs and programming and stuff. It's real cool. You know me, I mean, I tend to scope a lot, so seeing how the ECU and the TCM and all these modules behave, and now I'm trying to understand what the commands are instead of seeing the user and like I see on the scope. So it's real cool. So as I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. Until next time, take it easy.